morning.
Hello.
Welcome back to Coffee and Cocktails TV. I am Gemma.
And I'm Victoria. Nice to have you here.
Thank you for joining us.
Today we are going to talk about dealing with loneliness when you work for yourself or from home, like if you freelance from home, because it's a real big thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think you don't almost don't even realise how big a thing it is until it's a huge thing that you kind of isolate yourself from the world, and before you know it, I just found that I was quite comfortable being at home, and I actually, when you look back, apart from the school run, I hadn't left the house for like 3 weeks, and I was quite happy with that.
Yeah.
And it's quite scary.
But do you think that?
Probably not, because underlying.
Yeah.
And it's also, in a way, not going out and working from home is, in a way, increased anxieties. And I think it's because you're not putting yourself in situations, you almost forget how to deal with these situations. So I think it's something you definitely need to work on.
It's just easy to, and I think when we were chatting, I can't remember when, but about where we were in ourselves before we met, and you almost feel like you're retreating a little bit from life, like, because you get into that comfortable bubble, and also I think we've chatted about this, how you almost feel too guilty to do anything. If you run your own business, like, time is money, especially if you've got a school run to fit in. You haven't got time to have a coffee or fit in anything in between there, like, or you feel really guilty, like you have got time but you feel too guilty. So it's
whereas if you're employed, you take an afternoon off, don't you? Or you take a holiday, or you have a lunch break, an hour sometimes.
An hour lunch break.
Oh my gosh.
But you just don't, because you try and justify it all, don't you? But that leads us back to why part of our mission is trying to make a change towards being paid for your worth rather than per hour, because then if you can do that, then, because I think that's the shift that I've made, and I do now feel able to spend a day with, chatting or have a coffee, or because it's I think that helps a lot in the move. But so we thought we would just chat a little bit about things that you can do if loneliness is starting to kick in, or if you find it, because I think that, like you said, the sooner that you do it, the better.
Definitely, and I think it almost has to become part of your work routine. Like, working from home is something that we probably all seek out to do, because we assume that we're going to have more time to spend with our friends. We can go off for lunch, we can do that odd shopping day with our family, we can do you know what I mean, we can be part, we can live more. And actually the reality is you live less. There's no Christmas meals, there's no after work drinks, there's no team building days, there's no natter over the coffee machine, there's no bouncing ideas off each other across the room, and in a way you end up living less. And I just think that isn't the reason for most of us that we even go into working from home or being freelance.
No.
So I think it's hard, like you say, you become so focused on your hourly rate, and you have to do this in order to earn this amount of money. But once our method is rolled out nationwide, and you're earning for your worth over your hourly rate, that you definitely need to schedule in time for your own sanity.
You do. It is sanity, your health, your mental health, because actually, if you don't speak to anyone other than your family for weeks on end, that's not healthy for you. And you can convince yourself. I'm an introvert. I love being at home, and if I'm out, I'm just like, when can I get home? Like, I love it. But at the same time, I've also loved, like, the ability to come and have a chat with you, and we might go out for coffee, or like, it's a nice.
I just about to say, just don't tell anyone we were working, but no. What is wrong with going out for a coffee? We probably were working.
Well, it's always. But again, I think we sometimes have our best ideas when you're just relaxed and you're just chatting. And again, I think that's something else that needs to shift, that you have to be tied to your desk at an office to get your best work done. And actually, if you booked a spa day, it'd be amazing how many ideas, when you actually truly allow yourself to relax, you could get, like, all your planning done in that day. But it doesn't feel like work, and that's why we feel guilty. But why not? Why not work with your iPad or laptop from the spa?
No. I have my best ideas driving. But you say it's because you're or out walking the dog. I really find that time, and I can even create content then. Like, when I'm walking, I can map out responses to emails, to letters in a more constructive way. it does seem
And you're getting
much.
fit, and so you can do those things, like the thinking things you can do while you're doing an exercise class, or you're at the gym or at the spa or swimming. Like, it doesn't have to be stuck at a desk. But I've been in that place for so many years where I am chained to my computer. My whole life was through my screen because I do all the video chats. Like, it just, you wouldn't, and that's no way to necessarily
No,
live.
it's not good for your eyesight.
It's not good. So we did make a little list, but it's disappeared off of there.
Okay, we can find it.
So scheduling coffee dates.
Yeah, it can either be with friends, so it's a more of a relaxed personal thing, or it can be a business thing, so you can bounce ideas off each other. You can vent. We all need to vent, don't we? It's just having that human connection, that sitting down with somebody, having a face-to-face conversation, remembering how to make eye contact, remembering how to negotiate a conversation, how to work a conversation, isn't it? Rather than an email response. It's just good to get out there and talk to people. And we honestly, we feel so deeply and passionately that that's almost been lost in this society. That social media and emails, is that you forget how to actually have a conversation and talk something through. And do you know what? Some of the ideas, like, they sort of bounce, don't they? And I think that once you start discussing an idea, it can explode. Whereas sat at home on your own, just get out and talk to people.
Yeah, get out and talk
have a
to
coffee.
people, not through social media chat. That doesn't count.
And say that there isn't anybody locally, and you still go for a coffee. People watching, just get yourself out.
Change of venue.
So just to be surrounded by people, and
there's really something to be said by being in that vibe of place. Because sometimes, I mean, we live in Somerset, and sometimes the vibe might not be always here. But when I get into Bath or Bristol, like, I feel quite alive because there's so much hustle and bustle. So sometimes just being in a different environment can just sort of give you that.
And we know self-employed women, freelance women that go to work in like a shared workspace, like a hub, and actually again, they might not even talk, that they're sat near each other working, but it's that it's an energy thing, and
100%.
And I'm sure they might do a Christmas party.
Yeah.
If you don't guess, I really miss
the
work Christmas party.
We're going to have a coffee and cocktail Christmas party, and you're all invited. You better plan that.
Okay, it's my list.
So go for a walk. Just get up and go for like a 20-minute walk or half-hour walk. Just around your village or town, wherever, or go to the nearest park. But again, like you said, if you're trying, especially if you're like sat there trying to solve something and you can't, just a change of venue and a bit of exercise and fresh air. So you can do that.
You can maybe set a little challenge. See how many people you can say good morning or afternoon to. Even the nod of the head. It's acknowledging people, isn't it? Like, we talk so much about our community and the lack of it. And the only reason there's a lack of community is because none of us put the effort in to talk to people and to care and to get involved. So
yeah.
That. Music. Oh, love a bit of music.
I think just sometimes I forget to put my music on, but it really does help change
your mindset and your mood. Yeah, definitely. I've got to the end of a work day and I've still got the music app it's open, but I haven't pressed play.
Yeah.
And I was
because you're so engrossed in it. And it's about enjoying your days, isn't it? Like, if you're just head down day in, day out by yourself, that's not like, just remembering your why, like why you're in business, and that's not necessarily going to fulfill you long term, is it? Really?
No. I love a sing song.
Do you? Yeah. So it's, again,
windows are open, singing.
Love it.
And to be fair, you sort of get lost, don't you, in the momentum of the song, and before you know it, you've done like an hour's work.
Exactly.
And I think psychologically, you feel like you've had someone talking to you.
Yeah, definitely. I did put on the list, which isn't quite, but if you really can't, if there's no one locally, like I do a lot of Zoom calls, which are just like video chats, and I do feel like I get to know the ladies the other side of the call. It's like the next best thing. So not like text messaging stuff's different, but when you're on video chat, you are having a proper conversation with someone. So it's not as good as being in the room and having a coffee. But it is the next best thing. So maybe there's a business buddy or something that you can sort of have a half-hour chat to, or have a coffee at the same time, or have breakfast together, whatever it is, or have lunch, you know, like there's things you can do. So
there's lots of platforms, there's Skype, Zoom,
or even
FaceTime,
isn't there? Like all those things. But I think there's something to be said than actually having that interaction. So we're not there, you know, but you hopefully get a feel of, like through video, like who we are, and you don't have to be there in the person, do you? No. And video chat's the same. So I do like video chat. And I do feel sometimes I haven't actually seen a real person in the flesh, but I've probably spoken to 10 people through video chat. So it does feel like I've got that connection met on a level. If that makes sense.
Another thing would be maybe if there is someone locally, is to find a group, because you open your friendship group, aren't you? And not only does it help you overcome loneliness, there's so many benefits to your business. So all the new skills. So you're learning from them. So you can either have like a tribe or a squad or a little coffee and cocktails.
Well,
so we do Coffee and Connect, don't we?
Yeah, we do Coffee and Connect, which is just a really informal coffee. So not networking. It's just because what I love is chatting and really understanding the person behind the business. So if you fancy holding a Coffee and Connect locally, like we can sort of help, because we talked about that, didn't we? Because if there's nothing locally, start your own.
Because there's going to be tons of women out there in your area.
Yeah, and we can sort of promote it through our feed or add it to our events page, and you don't know who's out there. And it is, because I think as well, once you're connected and you know other people locally like get it, it's about being around people that just get it and understand, isn't it? That I think sometimes if you're with your friends that aren't running businesses, that might have all day for coffee, but I think sometimes you just want that half-hour quick coffee, and then you need to do back to work. And other business people get that you haven't got all day, but you can still fit in that sort of half-hour, 45-minute coffee.
And I think it's getting value from relationships. So sometimes you're your own worst enemy. So if you have a family at home, connect with them. There isn't any necessary reason to be completely lonely.
No.
I know that in my darkest points in business that I have worked relentlessly, and you sort of lose, you almost don't know who your family are because you're working so hard that you forget to make time. And they'll do something and you'll look at them and you almost feel like you don't really know them, like in a way. So you need to embrace those relationships. You need to be present. You need to be part of the relationships that are there. Sometimes loneliness is a little bit, to blame yourself, really, don't you?
Yeah, it can be self. But that's and again, I think I make myself lonely when I'm struggling with mental health. Now I'm lonely. Someone's gone to get the post. Can you see it through the window? Not quite sure how much editing we're going to do on these videos, whether we'll just leave them totally as they are, because I'm quite passionate about being really real. What do you think?
Yeah. I do. I worry that the fakeness is not a good thing, is it?
Fakeness is not a good thing.
Me out.
Yeah. Well, I just cut this bit out.
Oh no, I'm back. Just back in the room.
And I got to experience what loneliness was like, in the minute. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Life happens. You know, we didn't plan for a delivery person to rock up,
but we have,
Another joy of working from home. See, what I could have done is got to know the delivery person. I always spark a conversation, ask them how their day is. Again, she's self-employed. It's all about almost acknowledging, isn't it, as other people might be lonely.
Oh, huge. I think it's a bit of an epidemic, I think, loneliness. And I think loneliness is one of the big causes towards mental health and depression and things like that, because we're not feeling connected with one another. But we think it's just us because we're looking at people on social media
with all Instagram numbers,
all their 100,000 people, or they've got all those friends, and look at me, I'm all alone, I'm not loved. It's not a reflection of that, is it? It's just but was there anything else? Were there any other tips on so if you do have loads of work to do, like, it's amazing what you can get done if you are really focused. So is it a case of focusing between the school hours some days, but really switching off when the kids come home and
being in the moment
with them as well? So you're almost splitting your day in, so it's not like it takes over your entire day. Like you said, sometimes you can work for 11 hours and you feel that you're not breaking, but if you really worked, that was your time that you had your head down. But make sure you switch off and then really enjoy life.
Yeah.
as much as you can with tantrum.
Again with family, isn't it? Is that you almost make so many excuses. I'm working, which we are, and we know that like life is time short, and that everyone knows that being self-employed is really time consuming, but there does come a point where you need to say, actually, this is something I need to make time for.
Yeah.
So
Agree.
you can overcome loneliness with us. Yeah. Come and join us.
I think that covers it.
Yeah, so if you maybe pop over to our events page on Facebook and see there's a Coffee and Connect happening near you.
And if not, host your own.
Host your own, yes.
We would love to help you host your own and see them everywhere, all over the world.
Oh, and Cocktails and Connect.
Definitely Cocktails and Connect.
Just in case you fancy something, a bit of fizz.
I think the fly needs a cocktail.
I think he's had one. Have a lovely day.
Have a lovely day. Speak to you soon. Bye.
There's a couple of them. The rules weren't meant for her anyway.
Oh, maybe.